fucking go with it. What is it? It's week 2 of February, which means that we're in week 5 of the year. Crazy fucking year so far, man. It's exciting how far we've gotten. This one is gonna be
Crazy,
quicker.
yeah.
Maybe gonna be 25 minutes or so because me
Yep.
and this guy are going to Cyprus. So the next video you guys see, we're gonna be sitting with each other on a beach recording with
Okay,
our
speed to lead.
microphones.
I'm actually getting a call right now. Edwin, take over. I'm gonna pitch this guy.
Sure. Let me just yap them, fellas. So basically, next time we speak, me and Jim will be in Cyprus together, recording it from there. Now, with that said, let's talk about some updates. Jim just got a B2B lead, and we're selling like crazy, so you gotta call this guy. Now, with that said, let me talk about some of the updates that I have from this last week. This week is the best week of the year so far. It's been fucking amazing. It started this month incredibly well. As you guys know, we had a goal of hitting 100k in profit this month. We changed that to drag it down to 50k in profit, which I hate. I don't want to lower my goals, but we realized that 100k really wasn't possible based on, I don't want to say it's not possible, everything's possible, but it was extremely, extremely, extremely unrealistic to do based on the fact that we had pretty much just over broken even on pay per lead the month before. So this month we are going for 50k in profit, and we're doing really good progress for that. We cracked B2B ads. A Jim signed, I think it was 4 partners, something crazy. I signed 4 partners, even though all of mine weren't from the B2B ads. But point is, we're getting leads, we're getting high quality companies finally, and it took like 3 weeks to crack, and now it's finally cracked. So it's amazing. Now, I signed 1 referral client, I signed a white label deal that got me 3 leads in one basically. And we added another service, which is cabinet refacing on our B2C side. So right now, I'm spitting the sauce. I shouldn't be sharing this, but we do leads for kitchens, bathrooms, showers, and specifically windows. So that's 4 services. We just added a 5th, and that 5th is cabinet refacing because we have 3 really good partners that all want cabinet refacing. So that's where we're at the moment. Very exciting stuff. Now, Hans is in and texting. Yo, Hans, what's going on? Jim is getting a B2B lead right now that he's talking to. So I gotta run this myself. I ran out of all my updates. And today we were gonna talk about stuff that was on Jim's list because we're not gonna have time to go over both people's stuff. But I already ran out of my points. So let me talk in front of you guys and just fucking spitball here. Hans, what's going on, man? Share an update from you because you're here live from the last week. Now, with that said, let me talk about some of my learning lessons slash on top of mind stuff. I guess the first one is the importance of personal brand. Another big, 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 big update that happened this week is that we hired a person to be our ad creative guy because we were constrained by the ad creatives that we were able to do both B2C and B2B, but especially B2C. And we hired a guy from this. And this guy, he's called Judson. He's fucking amazing. It's the best hire we've made in a while. He's amazing. And he's super committed. And the reason he came in is because he had been watching these exact videos. He'd been watching these podcasts every week. And that really just made me realize that our brand is everything, and everybody talks about how important personal brand is and brands overall, but nobody really sees that until they're there and they've actually gotten it. And that's why everybody who's already experienced that knows what it feels like, and everybody who hasn't experienced it can't really speak about what a brand is like. But I've only gotten a small micro taste of it, and a brand is fucking amazing. So I'm probably gonna double down some more this year on specifically building a brand because we've been posting once a week for a few days, and we already found a star candidate for our team on brand. And brand is almost like a cheat code to networking, hiring, sales, deals, getting investors, getting advice, getting mentors. Like, it's a cheat code to everything in life. So yeah, I think attention is the new currency, and that's something that was a big learning lesson for me. So I'm really happy that these videos are not just making me and Jim document our journey, but it's also making us direct more money. Plus, you guys are hopefully getting some value. So that was big. That means that we've solved the constraints. If we speak about last week, we had 2 main constraints that we were facing. It was number 1, I'm going to speak out the goals that we had set last week. It was number 1 to crack the B2B ads. Secondly, hiring a head of ad creative person and ramping them up fully. Both of those were hit this fucking week. Both of those were hit this fucking week. And we didn't just hire a guy, we fully ramped him up, and he made 30 fucking creatives yesterday. 30. That is what we used to be able to complete in maybe like 3 weeks. So that is a huge win. I feel so proud of me, Jim, and the team for how we managed to ramp up this last week. And right now we're just in a stage where we're trying to scale our B2B performance. So, or our B2B ads. So right now we were spending like 150 a day on ads. Jim is still spending 150. I've ramped it up. So now I'm spending 400 and we're going to continue to scale that. Or no, I'm spending 350, but I'm going to continue to scale that until we're at like 400, 500, 600, 1,000 a day. And I really believe that we're getting 50K in profit this month from just the pay per lead business, because that's the only one I really look at. Another win is that my operations manager girl is stepping up more and more. She's right now just an operations specialist, but she's trying to become the operations manager. So we're putting in a lot of work to actually be able to get her to grow and stuff, because she's extremely talented, but she lacks experience. So she's getting the experience with my company, which I usually don't recommend. But if you're smaller, if you're cash flow constrained, or if you're fine with growing slightly slower, then it's usually fine to hire for a talent and then training the experience rather than the other way around. Now, talking about more learning and the top of mind stuff, always show more gratitude and more appreciation that you want. That than you think you need, sorry. That is probably one of my biggest learning lessons this week. Like, it's so easy to forget to give gratitude and appreciation. And I think most people around me would say that I'm pretty good at showing gratitude and appreciation, but I still feel like I can get better at it. And I've had this daily task for the last 2 weeks, and anybody who's watching this should probably do this too, which is just taking a minute every single morning to write one piece of gratitude to anybody on your team. And that's something I've started doing, and I feel really proud that I've started doing it. And then I started with my team, but then I switched it to, it's not just my team, but it's actually family members, friends, mentors, as people that are close to me, my team, anybody around me. I send a gratitude message to, but I only send one a day. So today, for example, it was my girlfriend. Yesterday, it was Jim. The day before that, it was a family member. The day before that, it was my highest performing team member. So yeah, I'm just always showing a gratification message, or a gratitude message to anybody on the team. And I think you don't realize how much appreciation you can give without people getting tired of it. I've never had anybody be like, hey, you're showing too much appreciation. But I've definitely had people tell me, I wish that you appreciated people more. Now, that's one of the big learning lessons that I had. Another learning lesson that I had this week is how when you're trying to do something that is special, something that most people don't do, and this goes for me, but also probably a lot of people watching this. When you're trying to do something that is abnormal, exceptional, and exceptional, the definition of exceptional is the exception, right? If you want to be the exception, if you want to do something that most people haven't been able to do, you can't expect to get approval from, quote, most people. Because most people haven't lived your life and ain't never gonna live your life. So don't expect them to approve of what you're doing.
All right, I'm back.
What's up, Jim? I'm just on a roll right here. So talking about how if you want to do something exceptional, you gotta be the exception, and that means you gotta do something most people aren't willing to do, and that means that you're gonna have to get hate from the people around you that are the exception. And most people will tell you that you're doing something wrong, that what you're doing isn't needed, that you should take a break, that you've already worked hard enough and you should take a minute to enjoy what you've built, that you should take a minute to rest, that you're gonna burn out, that you're unrealistic, that your timelines can't be met, that your goals are too ambitious, and so on. And when people tell you that, it's definitely true from their point of view. It's definitely true that your goals are way too ambitious for them, but not too ambitious for you. And I heard this, I was listening to an Alex Hormozi podcast this morning, and he talks about how, if you guys haven't read this, one thing that I used to read like every week a year ago or so was the last shareholder letter from Amazon, Jeff Bezos specifically, when he ran Amazon. He made his last shareholder letter 2019, and he talks about how you gotta resist your surroundings and to consciously putting in effort to be different from your surroundings, or we're all gonna default to just being like everybody around us. And what I'm trying to say with this is that if you want to be different, It takes work, it takes effort, and it takes energy. And if you stop pushing and if you stop using conscious effort to be different, set different deadlines, set different timelines, set different expectations, and just push harder, you're naturally gonna end up being like everybody else, and you're gonna revert to the environment. But don't,
100%. Yeah.
because that is what kills the ambition in most people. And that's why you might have a drive, and then you go to your family or you go to your friends or you go to whatever, and then they tell you to calm down, or they act normal, and then you kind of lose that drive that you had or that ambition that you had. So, Jim, should I read out the shareholder letter I'm talking about?
Yeah. You want to?
It's like 10 seconds long. Let me read it.
Sick.
This is for.
Before you do that, can I bring something up? I think you and I
Go
spoke
for it.
about this. We when was it? A couple of days back, when we talked about what happens when you and I don't work. When we like go on a vacation and we don't work. Do you remember that conversation that we had? It was
No,
maybe
tell
a
me.
couple of weeks back. Yeah,
Can't
we
remember.
we spoke about. Oh, do you know what it was? When we were creating the backgrounds for the phone and then also for the computer, we were speaking about what
Oh,
happens when we don't work. And some people have this, some people don't, but I literally don't want to take time off. People say that, oh, you need to take a break, you need to do this. But I feel like I don't want to, because if I don't work, it's like, it's just a feeling of almost anxiety. Like I need to get stuff done. If I don't get stuff done, I will have this feeling of like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's it's very hard to explain. But if you don't work, you feel like you lose your meaning, like your drive. And I feel like some people have that, some people don't. But even if that's business or if it's a sport, I always have to have constantly something that I'm always like chasing. It is something I'm not good at that I'm trying to get. If I don't have that, which has happened a couple of times in my life, I mean, I can't do it. I just need to find something. And I think Edwin, I don't think, I know you're the exact same. Like if you and
yeah.
I took a week right now without work, we would probably sit and talk about what we would do when we go back so we can plan when we're gonna work. I mean, it's just
Yep.
everything's just about the work. And for some people that might sound crazy, but for the people that have that same kind of feeling, that you'll understand exactly what we're saying. Sorry about that, by the way. I had a lead call me, and as you guys know, we're in the trenches right now. I'm gonna call if a lead calls me. I'm answering no matter what the time is. If I see it, I'm answering. Um, cool. Hope you provided some value here, Edwin, or hope
Hell
you
yeah.
documented. That's the main purpose. We should document where we are right now, so we can look back at this and we can just laugh about it.
Hell yeah, man. I found this. I want to read this out. And
Yeah,
by the way,
read it
for
out.
anybody watching this, I just want to give you guys a reminder that if me and Jim start yapping about hyper specific things and things that might not seem valuable to you guys, I say this with love. It's because it's not for you guys. It's for me and Jim, because we talked about this last time. Like, we make this for our own sake, for us to be able to document our journey and look back on in
Yeah.
the future. So it's not. We love if you guys get value from this, but we make it for our sake. Now, let me read this. Actually, it wasn't 2019, it was 2020. Jeff Bezos, top 3 world's richest man's last ever shareholder letter on his company, which is Amazon. He says this: Differenti- differentiation is survival, and the universe wants you to be typical. This is my last annual shareholder letter as the CEO of Amazon. And I have one last thing of utmost importance I feel compelled to teach. I hope all Amazonians take it to heart. Here's a passage from Richard Dawkins' book, The Blind Watchmaker. It's about a basic fact of biology. Staving off is death. Staving off death is a thing that you have to work at, left to itself, and that is what it is when it dies. The body tends to revert to a state of equilibrium, whatever that is called, when it's with its environment. If you measure some quantity, such as temperature, the acidity, the water content, or the electrical potential in a living body, you will typically find that it's remarkably different from the corresponding measure in the surroundings. Our bodies, for instance, are usually hotter than our surroundings. And in cold climates, they have to work hard to maintain the differential. When we die, that work stops. The temperature differential starts to disappear, and we end up the same temperature as our surroundings. Not all animals work so hard to avoid coming into equilibrium with their surroundings, but all animals do some work for this. For instance, in a dry country, animals and plants work to maintain the fluid content of their cells, work against the natural tendency for water to flow from them, and dry outside in the world. If they fail, they die. More generally, if living things don't actively work to prevent it, they will eventually merge into their surroundings and cease to exist. This is what happens when they die. While the passage is not intended as a metaphor, it's nevertheless a fantastic one and very relevant to Amazon and to our company. I would argue that it's relevant to all companies and all institutions and to each of our individual lives too. In what way does the world pull at you in an attempt to make you normal? How much work does it take to maintain your distinctiveness? To keep alive the thing that makes you special? Now I'm gonna stop reading this. How much work does it take for you watching this, or for you or me, Jim, to remain weird, to remain special and do what most people tell us is impossible? How much work do you need to put in to tell your team, to tell the people around you that you're trying to do something that isn't normal to them, trying to stay away from that quota of things take a certain amount of time or something is impossible? How much work do we need to put in to stay different than normal? Because if we stop that work, if we stop pushing to be different, we're gonna become the same as our environment. And that's when, as Jeff Bezos says in this letter holder, we die. And what he means by, or what I see we die meaning, isn't that we physically die and we stop living. I see that as we stop the drive inside of us, and our drive dies, and our ambition dies. So I know I can't read. I dropped out of fucking high school, but I still felt like I could get across. For sure. What's your thoughts on that, Jim?
That was so funny.
And guys, in the chat, please kill me for how bad I am at reading. I know.
Wait, I saw when you were like in the middle. I saw how we went from 5 viewers dropping to 4, dropping to 3. I just saw people
It's because I can't
that was
read,
good.
brother.
No, it was
Sure,
good.
go ahead.
It was good. That's the people watching that is missing out, and that's their fault. No, but nice. Yeah, I completely agree. And I think there's so many stories from this. I also know a good friend of ours, Cameron England. He had the same thing. I remember he told me once when we were in Marbella. He told me that he tried to take time off after he like outsourced himself from the agency, and I think I can't remember, but he was like 1 day without work, and then he started his next thing. Yeah. Cool. Have you given updates from this week? I want to put some updates out here so I can go back and look
I've
at this.
given some of mine. Go with yours, bro.
Okay. Sick. All right. So I have a couple of things that I want to touch on. I feel like this, I have to reinforce this. Edvin, I need you to keep me accountable to this when we come to Cyprus. There's a quote from Alex Mosi that is, when things are easy, that's when you go hard. I feel like I'm missing out right now because everything is falling into place. Our B2B is awesome. The only thing we need to do is literally just test more B2C ads and figure that out. But I feel like that's a little bit delayed because when we create the ads, then we launch the ads, then it takes a couple of days for us to see that result. But I feel like I'm actually at a point right now where everything's starting to crack. We have clients, good clients. We have a way of getting them. We just need to do more. B2C. Right now, it looks better. After I got hacked from Facebook, my results were shit for a while, but now it's actually starting to get better. So we're going to be more profitable on the B2C side. So it's just scaling the ad spend. Same thing with the team. That is literally the feeling I got after I spoke with you this morning. I don't feel like I have a constraint right now. When you don't have a constraint, you go fucking hard. Like every single day, you just put more effort into it because when you get a constraint, that's now stopping you from growing. When you don't have a constraint, that's when you can double overnight. You can literally, in 1 day, you can triple your business. And so I feel like I have that right now. And I'm a little bit stressed because I want to do things right now. It's a Sunday. Tomorrow we're traveling. We're still going to be able to take calls. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 calls tomorrow with pretty good prospects. I'm taking sales calls now, by the way. But I just feel like, why are we not going harder? Why don't we have 20 sales calls back to back the entire day with perfect clients, because we can do that right now. So when we get to Cyprus, Edwin, first of all, we're increasing spend everywhere. I'm still pretty short on cash balance. You, Edwin, I have kind of retrieved myself, went up. It's looking better than what it was like a week, 2 weeks ago. But now we have client finance acquisition. We are we've been back and forth, profitable, unprofitable on the B2C side. I feel like I don't feel like, but I am profitable right now, past 3 days. We need more data, of course, but we made a couple of tweaks in the landing pages. And I just feel like, I need to go harder right now. I need to sit down every single day and only do the task that actually matters. And so I'm excited for Cyprus. We're gonna go hard, man. We're gonna go really hard. Did you touch on as well, ad creative guy? We
Yep.
told everyone last week we're gonna hire one. Took us 3 days, and we hired an absolute A player. This guy is amazing. I feel like this is the perfect guy. Hopefully,
And he came from this podcast.
he came from
He
here.
literally
He
came
was
from
watching the
this. Yeah.
videos, and so he applied. Absolute amazing guy. I feel like this is like one of the cornerstones in our business, and yeah, we're gonna absolutely smash it with him. So super, super happy with that.
And I do want
Um,
to say, I feel really proud of how fast we solved this constraint. Like,
oh man,
the speed of
we're
solving
moving
a
with speed
constraint is
right now.
probably the number one indicator of like how well your business is gonna grow. And I feel so proud that we said on Sunday, oh, we need a ad creation guy, and then on Wednesday we already had somebody hired, and by Friday that guy
He
was
created his
already
first
ramped up.
ad. First ad was uploaded on Wednesday.
Yeah, and he was already hired, fully ramped up on Friday, and then yesterday he made 30 new ads. So
Yeah.
that is freaking
Crazy,
incredible.
man. Insane guy. I absolutely, yeah, he's gonna be the
sure.
best person we have on our team.
I do want to say one thing on what you were just
Yeah, I
saying
have to
about
bounce
like
pretty soon, Evan.
taking. For sure, I'll hurry up here. By the way, this is gonna be a shorter one because we're short on time here. Start a bit late, but basically, one thing I do want to touch on is how, just personally, documenting for myself, this first half quarter, and I would say most of last year for me was a lot of maker work. I've been very deep into like just making. And if anybody doesn't know, I see your work as two things. It's maker and there's manager. Maker is you build things. You don't talk to people, but you actually build systems, scripts, things, ads, whatever. And then there's manager. That's when you talk to people, you do small meetings, you make stuff move, you take sales calls, you take partner calls, whatever. I feel like for the first time in probably a year and a half, I'm gonna go from being 50% maker, 50% manager, to probably being 75% manager. And I am uncomfortable with that because I'm used to waking up at 6:30, being very productive. But I'll have to go outside of my comfort zone here, get back in the trenches, and be like, I'm gonna be taking probably 12 hours of calls per day. And I'll probably start going to bed at 1 a.m. because of our time zone, maybe 2 a.m. here in Cyprus. But I'm going to have to accept that I can't wake up at 6:30 every day because that's what the business needs, even if it's uncomfortable. Even if that's not what I want to do, that's what the business needs. So I'm actively, starting tomorrow when we arrive in Cyprus, gonna take away my goal for this year, which was to wake up at 6:30 every morning and say, I'm going to bed when all my meetings are done, and I'll wake up when I've gotten enough sleep, because what matters the most right now is taking as many sales calls and partner calls as humanly possible.
Yeah, we'll do everything to grow the business, even if that's going to bed at 4 a.m. We'll do it.
Hell yeah, man.
Sick. All right, I feel like that's everything that we have time for right now. Next time you probably see us, we'll be sitting face to face, maybe on a beach with a coffee, recording this in a better fashion. Whew, I'm excited for that. It's gonna be, if you guys are watching this, you're gonna see me and Edwin explode pretty soon. And we're gonna keep recording these. We're gonna stay humble, but we're gonna grow a lot. So I want to take the last
Hell yeah, man.
30 seconds of this. Edwin, do you have anything else you want to cover right now?
No.
Okay, sick. Awesome. I'm going to cover all of the comments we've gotten. So first one, what's a
Okay.
realistic CAC for pay per lead if your test package is 2K to 5K sort of region? Pay per lead CAC should definitely be lower. We expected a $1,500 CAC. That's what we expected. Right now it's actually lower, but that's what I would expect. In local niches, how do you handle the different lead costs?
I
in
do want to say
different
really
locations?
quick, really
Yeah.
important. Depends on two things. It depends on the size of the business you try to work with. If you try to work with companies that are above 10 million, then your CAC will be high, 2K plus. If you work
Yeah.
with everybody, then it's going to be very low. Secondly, how much are you charging up front? If you charge nothing, you have no excuse to have a CAC above $500. But if you charge 1K, 2K, 5K, 10K upfront, it's going to be significantly higher. That's the two variables.
100%.
But the only thing that really matters is that you have a positive 30-day gross profit to CAC, meaning you make more in the first 30 days than it costs you to get them. Just wanted to say,
Yeah.
go for it, Jim.
100%. Cool. Next question. In local niches, how do you handle the different lead costs in different locations? Do you charge more if it's a high cost area? We don't. We just figure that area out. And I'm going to be brutally honest with you here. I think that you can crack every single area out there. You just need more creatives. And so if the audience size is there, the only thing you need is you need more creatives and you will crack it.
Yeah.
Hans is asking, Edvin, are you in license and scale from Cam, or do you have any other mentor? Do you want to answer that one? Do you have any other mentors?
Sure, yeah.
Edvin?
I'm actually, and I think it's for both of us. You just weren't there at that one, but yeah, for me, I'm actually not in his program. I'm a good friend with Cam, but we're not in his program directly. I definitely recommend it though. Like that's probably the
100%.
best agency coaching program to get to 100K a month in revenue right now.
100%.
I have a different mentor. He's called Kale. He was the CEO of a really big company, so he is an advisor actively in my business. And then I oftentimes buy coaching programs and stuff like that and events as they come up. But no, not in Cam's, but it's really good.
Sick. Yeah, Cameron, I've seen the effort that Cameron is putting in behind the scenes. You guys don't understand. He is putting in his whole heart into that business, and I would 100% recommend it. Cool. Diego is asking, are you reading the comments? Of course, brother. And he has a quick question. I have a quick question. You guys come from Sweden. When did you feel ready to work with US clients? For me, I actually started in Sweden, and after one day, I switched to the US. Edwin,
I
what
did the
about
same
you?
thing. I switched
Yeah?
after a year, but yeah, I started in Sweden.
Oh, after a
Tried
year.
for a year. Yeah, so I started in the restaurant industry in Sweden, and then it took a year before I realized restaurant sucks, Sweden sucks. Let's move to the US.
Okay.
And my English
yeah.
sucked for the first year. I just want to say
Same.
it still isn't the perfect, but yeah, me and Jim were first on a call in a coaching program, Cameron's old free coaching program, and I literally texted Jim, "Are you Swedish?" Because I could hear how bad his accent was in Swedish,
Yeah.
and he knew the same about me. And we've gone a long way, and we still don't have perfect English, but we're so much further ahead. And trust me, it doesn't matter. I got my first client to pay me 3K up front when I had gotten an F in English in school. So
Yeah, that's right. Cool.
at the age of 14.
Yeah. Diego is asking, in terms of English level, because that's the reason why I haven't started yet. I don't know if I have good enough level of English. Okay, I would say start in the US and just practice your English. I mean, me and Edwin, we started with bad English, but we still went in. I was one day in Sweden and then I moved into the US. You're going to learn English real fast when you actually speak it every day. Then we have, I can't see his name, but GBRN something says legends. I appreciate you, my friend. And then we go, I think that's Phillips. I can't see the profile picture, but I think that's Phillips. He's saying, yo, Jim. What's up, Philip? Hope you're doing good. Hopefully I see you on Tuesday. That's it. That's it for today. Shorter version. Next time you see us, it's going to be in person, and we're going to document some crazy stuff when we're in Cyprus. Oh, yeah. Are you excited, Edwin?
Hell yeah, let's fucking do it.
Bro, I'm
Easy.
ready to scale. This is insane. All right, boys. Peace out. Hope you enjoyed.